Recording in progress.
I don't mean to brag about all of my sports knowledge, but is that an Expos hat you're wearing?
Oh, well done.
Well,
Nice.
I dabble in the sports a bit.
Yeah. For an extra bonus point, do you know what team they became when the Expos folded?
I'm not aware that the Expos folded.
Yeah,
As
they
far as
did.
I'm aware, they're still an active team.
Oh no, they
A
folded in the
Canadian
early
team, right?
2000s. Yeah, Montreal. That's why
Yeah, Montreal Expos. That's right.
I learned French in Quebec, so I have a soft spot for French Canadian sports.
I actually
Uh,
follow the Expos very closely.
well, clearly, they became the Washington. Now I'm going to be naive because I don't remember if
The
it's
Nationals?
the Nationals. I couldn't remember if it was the Nationals or the Capitals. Yeah, they're
Did you
Washington.
see that?
What?
I just did a sports trivia question.
Well done. Well done.
Could I be on your team?
Sure. You know what? If you hadn't called for this meeting, that's Wednesday night is usually my trivia night with Joe and Amy. And
Wait. Okay, priorities. I don't ever want to take you away from Joe and Amy.
well,
Period.
they've been laying low since the baby, so uh,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I don't think they went out tonight. They're still waiting on getting them back.
I was a little jealous about that whole thing, like that you got to hang out with them, and they left me.
We finally got them to. We had a taco night on Saturday, and they came and brought Billy Gray and got to show the baby off a little bit. And,
That's so awesome.
yeah, it was. We were glad they were willing to get out for a little bit, so it was pleasant. I I,
Good for
I
them.
understand your jealousy. They're good people.
They are, yeah, top notch. So I loved your face page post about terms. Like I think you did the same thing on Twitter, but it really took off on Facebook.
Yeah, I am. I was really pleased. It didn't get any. I mean, it got like a couple of suggestions on Twitter, but the Facebook post, yeah, they got some of it was tongue in cheek, but yeah, there was a lot of I think genuine curiosity over what does this word mean. So yeah, that
Yeah.
that gave me some good material. I was sort of thinking of doing it sort of in a Sesame Street style in an ABC alphabetical
Yeah.
order.
I love
And
gimmicks.
I don't know if it initially the script I've got for this week's is just letter A, vocab. So stuff that
Cool.
starts with the letter A.
Don't give up on Twitter. I know that Twitter is hard, but so like I don't have really close friends on Twitter, but it is a good platform to get content out there.
Oh yeah.
Like most of my close friends are on Discord or Reddit, but um Twitter does take a lot of practice. And the funny thing about it is um so there's this person that tweets she generates. So you should look her up. She's she gen or she generates.
Okay.
And most of her stuff is just like nutty. But she does have some very interesting content. Like she's very smart, obviously, but she tweets like 50 times a day.
Huh.
And I think that is probably like her key to developing a following. It is,
She generates.
yeah, yeah, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I'm amused because like it's not that it's some of it's high quality and very interesting and insightful, but it's more
Is her
like
logo a
quantity.
goose?
Probably, I don't know. I don't.
Okay.
I'm like because well, we're the same age. I'm 76. I have difficulty. Like if people change their PFP, I no longer know who they are. Like I have to start a whole new file for them.
I get it.
So
Well, she's talking about ETH a lot, so I have a feeling it's the person you're talking about.
yeah,
She seems
but
overthrow the banks. Seems to be a bit of a revolutionary here.
yeah, okay. So like the thing is, I just want to point out the quantity. Like it is very much a stream of consciousness. Twitter seems to reward quantity. And so it
Okay.
is, don't be afraid of quantity. It needs to have some minimum standard of quality,
Uh huh.
but don't be afraid to like tweet 6 times in a day. Like that's okay.
Uh-huh. All right. I imagine that there has to be some sort of focus though, like what you talk
Uh-huh.
about.
Yeah, that's one of the things I run into. People expect me as Fizz to be a decentralization maxi. They expect me to talk about Ether and nothing else. And so if I ever stray from that, people are not happy. In fact, I tweeted, I think maybe today, it was this morning, about the railroad situation. And I really had to think, like, can I get away with this as SuperPhiz, or do people want me to stay in that box? But yeah, the reality is people really want you to have a defined persona
Yeah.
and stick with it. And if yours is educator, if it's goofy educator, I don't care what it is, but figure out what your persona is and stick with it, and then you'll get a following.
Okay. Yeah. It's definitely on the stuff to investigate list. And
By the way, you are killing it with those EthStaker videos. I'm very, very delighted.
well, I'm real glad it's going well. That website that Nick's recommended it's a different interface and it's a little bit annoying at times, but man, it can do some cool stuff.
What is it called?
Let's see, DigiScript, I think, or let me see.
I think it's important to share that, because
Yeah.
part of the reason people will watch this is to learn how to do the things that we're doing. You're doing, I'm doing, whatever.
Descript, DE script, one word, Descript.
Descript. Yeah. Okay.
And
I think I've been there before.
Descript.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's cool. It's still on the trial free stuff, so they're constantly, well, you could have access to this, and so I'm having to run everything through the okay, well, what is actually available right now filter, because I'll grab a song or footage or a meme like the memes that we use today, and they're like, ooh, no, you can't use that one.
Okay, so yeah, EthStaker will absolutely cover that. Like we'll pay you for it tomorrow.
Okay,
if it's
well, let's
valuable,
figure it
like,
out. It's definitely a lot of perks. So if you guys deem it cool, I think it'll help.
Yeah, absolutely. I also I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, how appropriate is it for us to talk about this on a recorded thing or not? But we need to talk about like your payment frequency or plan. But maybe
Yeah,
that's something we'll just take to the DMs.
yeah, we can talk about it after we cut the recording.
I don't want to get a ton of work and then be like, you're like, are they ever going to pay? Like, and so for people who are watching, we're offering based on $50 for the clips that he's putting on EthStaker. And he's killing it. Like, everyone is better than the last. And I don't want you to think that because we're giving you feedback that they're not good enough. We're
No,
giving
I
you
appreciate
feedback
it.
because you're doing so well that we're like, wow, this has legs, and we want it to keep going.
I'm familiar with the Peter principle. I'll keep getting my responsibilities promoted until I prove myself incapable.
Exactly.
I'm familiar
Yeah.
with the concept.
We will continue to promote you until you are incompetent.
Yeah. That's I'm here for it though, man. It's good. I like it. I get up, I make the pot of coffee, and I sit down and sort out what the tweet's going to be. So it's a nice little rhythm, and the feedback really helps get things where you guys want it to be, and it keeps me not being a lazy schmuck and just throwing something up there. So that's good.
Cool. Yeah. And ideally, I think with some time and investment, you're going to get to a point where you're better at it than any suggestion we could offer you. As in, you will become the expert of creating these, and we will no longer. That is really the way things happen in EthStaker or in any group. Like, you may not. Right now, our combined skills are greater than what you do, but after
Right.
a few weeks or months, you're going to be so proficient at it that we couldn't even touch you, and that, like, we couldn't do as well as you do without you.
Well, it's yeah, you get better by doing, and you got to be willing to get your hands dirty and make the mistakes, and be humble, and take constructive criticism, and grow from it. So that's where I'm at. I'm fine. I'm fine with it totally, and
Yeah.
the suggestions have all been very helpful, and there's even some implications for the instructional design ideas, just beginning, a little covey, but beginning with the end in mind. What are we trying to do with this? What's the point here? And generate content that has the objective and not just getting out there and doing something.
Well, I think they're going to get there.
Yeah.
Because to be fair, right now you don't have a big point of reference for what EthStaker is.
Right. Yeah.
You're kind of like,
it is sort of not seeing the
in.
forest for the trees. Definitely. I feel like just sort of embedded in right there, and I don't have a good sense of scope or perspective.
But with enough time and integration, you will develop your sense of what EthStaker is. And it may be similar but slightly different to me or someone else. But then you'll have that context to say, well, I'm watching this video and this really exemplifies what EthStaker is looking for. And that's I look forward to getting to that point. And I'm confident that we will, based on where we've come from.
Yeah, I feel like I'm slowly getting a little bit of a better idea, and having to attentively watch the content definitely helps with that. And in the, what I usually, when I'm watching it, I was like, I need to ask Fizz about this next time we have a chat, and so I'm going to start taking notes, and maybe we can unpack some things during these that might be helpful for me.
You should mark your calendar for February 28th. That is the first testnet upgrade. I want to say, I should know. Wait, hold on.
It's the day before we head to Denver as well.
That's right, and a bunch of people will already be there.
Oh yeah, that's right. They're having the event the week before. Build something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, and I mean, even if people aren't at the event, they're still going there to hold on. Okay, well, so I'm a little behind because I can't remember whether we're doing. I should know this. The EF announced the testnet. I'm like looking for the link. Let's see.
I got a juicy email from them tonight with a lot of info on it. If you want to talk about any of that, I would be interested.
Yeah. Ethereum Foundation. What is this going to be called? Chapella? Chapella is on May 20th. And I'm going to share a link with you. It's the blog post about, I'm going to put it in our Discord, cool. About this Chapella testnet.
Okay. I've heard you mention it.
Yeah. So Zhejiang was the first kind of developer testnet, but there are a bunch of testnets on Ethereum. The two that we're concerned about are called Sepolia and Gurley or Prater, whichever, probably Gurley. And so before we have a big network upgrade, we upgrade these testnets and
it's like a dress rehearsal.
Exactly. And so EthStaker will host a call for that on February 28th. It is very much a dress rehearsal.
Cool.
It won't be a huge deal. I'm hoping it'll be like 30 minutes or 45 minutes. But it will tell everyone how ready we are. Well, the call won't be it'll be anticlimactic.
Okay.
Because it's really just to test withdrawals. And so it's going to be mostly an educational call. There's not going to be like any hype or climax. It's just going to be like, well, that passed and now we are in a testnet phase and people can try withdrawals.
Is it just EthStaker, or are there going to be some other appended groups
Well,
involved
yeah,
and on
that's a
call?
fair question. So this is going to be a 3-call series. The first call is Polia. The second call will probably be 2 weeks later on March 14th. And then the third one is likely to be March 28th. That's a rough guess. The third one is the main net launch, and that will be when we invite everybody and their mother. There are bound to be a lot of people on that.
Okay.
But they kind of build in intensity.
And still no definitive date on the Shanghai update and activation initiation?
Well, so that is so tentative. It really depends on the success of the test nets.
Okay.
If
So these will
everything
all,
goes, yeah, if everything goes perfectly, I would I like a 40% confidence that it's going to be March 28th. But
pretty high.
yeah, it is pretty high, but it's still less likely than likely, if that makes
Gotcha.
sense.
Yeah,
But we'll
absolutely.
see. So EthDenver.
Yeah, I'm just going to pull up the email. Let's see. Well, I've got it pulled up. I was going to share, just share my screen. Let's see.
Yeah, make sure you're. Yeah.
And where you at? There you at. Okay. So you seeing an email?
Not seeing a screen share right now.
No. Oh, I need to activate it. There we go.
There we go.
Okay. So
You're so brave to screen share your email. Like I'm like
uh,
so private about, and I don't have anything weird. I'm just private about all my stuff.
yeah, I think
Okay,
I'm
talk to me.
safe. I don't think I don't think I'm exposing
No,
anything.
no, you're not. You're not revealing anything. Um,
A
I
buffacorn? What's going on
uh-huh.
here?
Yeah. So a buffalo unicorn is a buffacorn.
Okay.
It is I think one of the two kind of mascots of EthDenver.
Spork
The other
being
one
the
is
other
the
one?
spork. That's right.
All right.
And obviously these are just like creative artistic expressions for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I think participants are buffacorns, and the mascot, the technical mascot, would be the spork, and we represent the Spork DAO, which is the
Right.
organization that ostensibly like creates EthDenver.
Okay. Offering sound baths and puppies. Interesting. Uh,
Now, one of the things I'll tell you about a lot of that is in the past there have been a crap ton of people, and um, it's maybe a little difficult to find relaxation at the event. I know that there's an intention to promote relaxation at the event, but it's usually like crowded elbow to elbow
okay. I had no idea.
kind
I
of
didn't know if
stuff.
it was going to be 60 people or if it was going to be 600 or, what they were
Uh,
anticipating.
my random estimate is probably and don't hold me to this, but like 15K.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, it's larger than I expected.
It is
Um,
a rather large event. It tends to like take over blocks of the city.
well, when they said all the hotels were booked up, I should have taken that as an indicator that it was heavily attended.
Well, and the other, like, it gets bigger every year, so um, it's hard. I think it's difficult even as organizers to predict what it's going to look like. Um, they intend to welcome as many people as possible. It just gets bigger and bigger. And last year was a real hassle because of COVID. Like you had to have a COVID screening before participating.
Right.
And so like there are these mile-long lines of people trying to get screened for COVID.
Ugh, yeah. Well, that'll slow things down. Okay, so it's talking about a wallet that needs to get downloaded.
Yeah. So
Mew wallet.
That stands for my Ether wallet. You can see it there.
Okay.
These
Oh yeah.
are okay. I mean, yeah, just install it on your phone, tinker with it. It's not difficult.
Cool.
Um, you will want to create a new seed phrase and back that seed phrase up somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
It would not hurt you to have um, gas money in that wallet, and so that is sort of like $10 in Ether, $10 in Optimism, Arbitrum, whatever. We can talk about like just seeding that. Like it's still yours, nothing can
Mm-hmm.
happen to it. But sometimes, like say they're sending you build bucks, you may need Ether to move those build bucks.
I've still got
And
some of that POAP uh, revenue that you shared on the MetaMask
okay.
wallet. So I can.
The other thing is like that is venue food, and I don't generally get into the venue food. Um, there are so many people, places, and opportunities to hang out that um,
Yeah, you
I
don't want to
don't
waste an opportunity. I get that.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, so the wallet the currency in that wallet goes towards like transactions
Venue
at
food, yes.
the convention. Okay.
And it is
Gotcha.
so it is a good are you familiar with the term dog fooding?
No.
It's dog fooding is like the concept of trying what you're doing, like trying your own product to see if it works. And so this is likely to be a good opportunity to try a real life Ethereum or zero knowledge transaction. Like it's a neat experience and you really should try it. Um, but I wouldn't necessarily like rely on venue food unless you just felt like it.
Well, if nothing else, a Dr. Pepper, you know,
Yeah.
uh, provided that they're available. Let's see. Okay, so that was interesting. Uh, okay, maps and floor plans. Is this pretty much at one building or a network of very approximately, close buildings? What are we talking about?
Yeah. So to be very honest, I don't know. I
Okay.
A lot of what I will do for better or for worse is go and talk with people
Uh-huh.
and like sort of group think it. Um I would really encourage you, if you have time, dig through these, learn about it. But generally what I will do, like I'll take my laptop and I'll go to the EthStaker house, and some of those people have been there 3 or 4 days, and I'll say, so what's exciting? Um, and that's my personal way of learning about it. Um, and obviously you're welcome at the EthStaker house. They'd love to meet you and you're welcome to hang out. Um,
I'm
so
trying to
that's a
think of
good
a way to, I don't know, develop the EthEDU videos, incorporate that experience into that content. Maybe something with the vocabulary shtick idea I have, or maybe go another direction with it. But it seems like a great
hey.
opportunity.
Um, Another way to develop valuable content, and this is something that I hadn't thought about, but if you really pick apart this email and
Mhm.
find ways to showcase the things that they did uh, the next year for EthDenver, they'll be looking for representative content. Or
Oh,
even this year after the event, they'll be looking for promotional content.
hmm.
You So we have this. I think I may have said this to you before. I'm not sure. The way to get a job in Ethereum is to do the job, and so if you're looking for some way to like get involved, you want to maximize your experience,
Hmm.
then go and make yourself a public relations officer for EthDenver. Like
Okay.
that kind of like interest and uh in what's the word? Ingenuity is not the right word, but
Initiative.
initiative. That initiative is like really that's what anybody wants is initiative. Your initiative with the videos, like holy cow, he's doing it. So many people want a job and then they're like, I don't know what to do. Um, finding people who will just take something and run with it
Mhm.
is golden.
I'll try to make a list of things to investigate or experiences to document. The sport castle looks interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, like you could literally take your phone, walk into the sport castle, maybe have a mic and say, "Hey, I'm looking around the sport castle. These are the things that I see. This is what I think is interesting." Put it on YouTube, and like you're just documenting it,
Yeah.
especially for the people who can't be there. There are, 100,000 people who wish they were at EthDenver and can't be there, and
Hmm.
more than just the talks, they want a sense of what the event is.
All right, I'm going to stop. I think that's pretty much the length of the email, so I'm going to go back to the two of us. Um, I think. Yeah. Okay. Uh, so yeah, that's something to thinking about how to get the most out of that, and giving a lot of good advice about it.
You have, and you may not be aware of this. Your initiative is 99th percentile. Um, so many people just sit and wait for somebody to tell them what to do, but you are imagining and thinking and grinding to do things. That's great.
Well, I get I I have hypomania, so sometimes I get things in my head, and for better or for worse, it stays there. And
As long as you don't have a flip side of that, you're great, right?
there's a flip side, but
Yeah.
the mania is often fun and very productive, and so it has its perks, but sometimes there's a crash at the end of it or something like that. And sometimes there's
Well,
insomnia, like the other night when I was,
yeah.
you know, uh, which is another thing that is not cool about it. But you want
It's
to just make the best out of it.
I love my favorite talk with you the other day we were talking about mental health. Like um I'm convinced like either people are aware of mental health and they are doing their best to stay mentally healthy, or they are like suppressing their experience of mental health and like denying it and just like uh you know bludgeoning through life.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it's sort of a luxury, or it's almost treated like it is. There's just the state, especially the state of the world right now. There's so many, you know, life's tough. Making ends meet is tough. Having the time to think about yourself is often not available. But in the last year, I was in a bad place, and I sort of realized if I didn't try to do something constructive about it, I was going to get in trouble. So the last year has been really I prioritized spending some time and trying to get a little bit of a better understanding of things. So it has helped.
That you owe yourself some personal credit for that because you have to imagine all of the people who didn't have that awareness and like just stay on a broken path and never do the things that have to be done to get off the wrong path. So
Yeah, and yeah, path is a tough metaphor. You got to give yourself grace on the slip ups, because even when you try to do well, you still have setbacks. And I a year ago and longer, I would treat a setback as just like catastrophic, and just give up. And
yeah,
a big thing in the last year has been trying to be more constructive about how you see them, have a little bit more scope about, yeah, well, something bad happened, but look at it look at how things have been generally going, which is
yeah.
better. So yeah, your attitude about it behooves you to have a more positive attitude about shortcomings, and even when you fall off the path for a second.
Yeah. That reminds me, like, the thing I've been talking about with my therapist is like self-compassion. And for so
Yeah.
long, I didn't have self-compassion. I would just beat myself up over every mistake. And
Yeah.
like discovering this concept of self-compassion, I'm like, I'm okay. Like it's okay to mess up. It's okay to like to have mistakes, to be a flawed person. Um,
And you
I
know
can't
what? If
believe,
you forgive yourself, you can do a little better job of forgiving other people, and that's important
yeah,
too.
I
If you
can't
can't
believe I
forgive
went
yourself,
40 years not understanding that. Like,
yeah,
I wish I had known.
man, yeah. So that's, I guess, one of the benefits of being in your 70s, like you and I. So you
Yeah, yeah,
finally start to figure some things out.
that's right. Um, okay, so I'm going to see you in a week, right?
Is it? Oh, are we that close? Lord, it's the
Yeah,
22nd. It's going
I
down.
know.
I didn't know we
I'm
were that
like,
close.
I don't even have a good jacket. Last year I went, but granted, last year it was like 0 degrees, um,
Oof,
froze my butt off. Um,
that's
but
my
like I
fear.
have, yeah, I have a tropical jacket that I'm like, I need to go get a jacket.
You know what? You may be able to, I mean, me being frugal, I bet there's some late winter sales going on where you can grab something really good
Hey,
at a reasonable price.
that's actually a good idea. I didn't think about like clearance. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
probably gonna go to like
usually
a.
at this point in the season, yeah, they're usually
Yeah,
trying to
that's a
let
good
go
idea.
of some stuff. But
I
yeah,
was like, worst case scenario, I'll just get there and buy one there. Like, but
I'm sure
I'm
they'll
not
have a
gonna be
good
cold again.
selection.
I was cold last year. I'm not gonna be cold this year.
Yeah, speaking of going back to Montreal and the Expos, they cold places tend to have a much better selection of climate appropriate shopping than
Yeah,
somewhere like where we are. So yeah,
my wife found this like $500 Patagonia jacket, and I'm like, no, like I don't know what you think like I'm made of, but um I could do a lot more with $500 than buy a jacket. So
Phew,
I'm like
that's
thinking about the $38, clearance rack sounds about good right now.
yeah. My winter coat, $40. I love it. It's snazzy.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
All right, we're gonna chat for a second after I turn this off.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Okay, cool. And over and out.